very much. Thank you very much. And welcome, everyone. My name's David Roberts, and this evening it is my pleasure to introduce one of the great characters in the history of London theatre. As an actor, he played something like 150 different roles in a career spanning 5 decades. He has 26 plays to his name, and for a quarter of a century or so, he co-managed one of our best-loved theatres, the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. And as if that were not enough, he was Poet Laureate for 27 years. And he's the author of what is really the first theatrical autobiography in the English language. His Apology for the Life of Mr. Colley Cibber, first published in 1740, has also been described as the first celebrity memoir. As for the man himself, well, he's also been described as one of the most hated men in London. In the words of one of his friends, he's the most complete coxcomb that humanity ever produced. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to the extraordinary, the unique, Mr. Colley Cibber.
Good evening, sir, madam, ladies. Charmed. Your servant, sir.
Oh, and yours, sir, yes.
I am much obliged to you.
Yeah, well, and I to you,
the honour is all mine.
I can assure you. No, you're very kind.
It is a quality I am known for, prodigiously.
Yes, well, indeed. Perhaps we could just begin
I thank you, by the by, for the correct pronunciation of my name.
Yes.
Cibber, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Cibber.
Yeah, of course. You
may be surprised to hear how often it is incorrectly pronounced. Kibber, Zibber, Zybers, I have heard them all. Why is it, do you think, that we English take such delight in mangling foreign names?
Well,
is it a particular humour of our nation?
I'm afraid it is. It's an unusual name, though, isn't it? Maybe you could tell us a bit more about it.
Colley, after my mother, Jane Colley of Rutlandshire. Cibber, that's Cibber, when my father, a Danish Sievert, fell under the spell of Italy and the master artist Sibo. I am, you understand, somewhat of an, what's the word,
immigrant?
Yes, somewhat of an immigrant. It is in our nation's character to sport somewhat with immigrants, is it not?
Yeah, somewhat, yes. But you were born in London.
Yes, in Southampton Street, on the 6th of November, 1671.
And your father was a sculptor, wasn't he?
A statuary. Statues were his business.
Now, we have some images of his work here. Yeah.
The figures... no, this is the pedestal, the column in the city. Yes, that's right.
And then...
yes, the figures of Bedlam. Yes, indeed. The lunatics.
Yeah, very impressive, aren't they? Yeah.
They are no ill monuments to his fame.
But your father was often in debt, wasn't he?
Well,
in fact, didn't he spend most of your childhood in prison?
That is not something I care to speak of.
In the Marshalsea, but it must have been distressing for you. Didn't children live with their parents in the Marshalsea?
Hum.
Well, okay, all right then. Well, but he sent you to school at any rate, yeah?
Yes, the free school at Grantham in Lincolnshire. Sir Isaac Newton himself went there as a boy.
Newton, really?
His genius was, I grant you, somewhat different to my own.
Yeah.
Such learning as that school could give me is the most I pretend to. I was the same inconsistent creature I have been ever since. My innocence is such that my reluctance, I believe, it is with great reluctance that I believe any person I know can be capable of envy, malice, or ingratitude.
Even your worst critic?
Even my worst critic. By way of example, give me leave to tell you a school story. A great boy, nearly a head taller than myself, had insulted me, upon which I was foolhardy enough to give him a box on the ear. The blow was soon returned, once, twice, until I was at his mercy. Another lad, whom I loved and thought good-natured, seeing me on the ground, cried out to the tall boy, "Beat him! Beat him soundly!" This so amazed me that I lost all my spirits to resist, and burst into tears. I know. When the fray was over, I took my friend aside and asked him how he came to be so against me, to which he replied, "Because you're always jeering and making a jest of me to every boy in the school."
When did you start going to the theatre then?
Well, that would have been the year 1687 or so. I had been sent to Winchester College, but failed the examination. In truth, my academical prowess was so meagre that I could have had more chance had I stood for Member of Parliament.
Yeah.
The moment I was informed of my unsuccess, I took post to London to see a play, and on that instant my head was turned. I saw no joy in any other life than that of an actor.
But you didn't tell your mother and father.
No, stab me vitals. No, not on any account. Think of the disgrace and prejudice that attended upon the profession of actor. But for that prejudice, many a well-known younger brother and beauty of low fortune would gladly have adorned the stage. Such a loss, is it not? Why, you, sir, might have made a great tragedian. Look at that brow, that noble bearing. And you, madam, what a figure you would have made in Shakespeare. You, sir, I see you have a nose for comedy. And you, sir, yes, well.
So, yeah, moving on.
I'm not finished yet. As I was saying, by not being able to brook such dishonour to their birth as to become actors, many have passed away their lives unheeded and forgotten. It is no wonder that young people of sense should so rarely become actors.
Well, I'm sure that's...
But remember this. If an actor excels upon the stage and is irreproachable in his personal morals and behaviour, he will be received with favour among the best sort of people. There, I am done. What do you wish to know next?
So, yes, well, tell us about your debut.
My first scene was to deliver a letter. Simple enough, you may think. But that letter was to be delivered to that immortal tragedian of renown, Mr. Thomas Betterton. My only words were, "A letter, my lord." I spoke the lines to myself over and over, each time with a different emphasis. A letter, my lord. A letter, my lord. A letter, my lord. A letter, my lord? But when it came to the business, Mr. Betterston's majestic bearing quite overwhelmed me. I trembled. My hands shook with a sudden palsy. My knees rattled like castanets. For my life, I could not summon the words. After the play, Mr. Betterton was not pleased. "Who was that young fool with the letter?" he demands of the prompter. "That was Master Colley," says the prompter. "Fine him 5 shillings, says Mr. Betterton. "He has no salary," says the prompter. "Well then," says Mr. Betterton, "pay him 10 shillings a week and fine him 5. And so I became an actor.
And I imagine you dreamed of playing heroes and lovers.
Oh, that is always the thing that enters the head of a young actor, of course.
So did you?
No, I did not.
Why not?
The insufficiency of my voice. I know. A meagre person, though then not ill-made, a dismal, pale complexion. Don't say anything. Do you know what they called me?
Yes, I think I read that. It was some...
Hatchet face.
No heroes or lovers, then?
No heroes or lovers. My aptitude was for mimicry. That was allowed to have I was also allowed to have a very exact ear and to speak justly. So much so that one day I heard one of the principal actors in the company say that he would be damned if I did not become a good actor. It took my breath away. I am not ashamed to admit it that I shed tears at the compliment.
Now, you mentioned Thomas Betterton a moment ago. Here he is. Yeah. So tell us about him.
There has never been so great an actor, nor ever will be.
What was it about him?
Consider the scene where young Hamlet sees for the first time the ghost of his father. Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. You have seen a Hamlet, perhaps, who, on seeing his father's spirit, has thrown himself into a rage and fury, and the house has thundered with applause. Angels and ministers of grace, defend us!
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
This is what Shakespeare terms tearing a passion to rags. But why should Hamlet be in so violent a passion with the ghost? It might have astonished him, but it has not provoked him. You may observe that in this beautiful speech, the passion never rises beyond an almost breathless astonishment, an impatience limited by filial reverence, a desire to know what a spirit so seemingly distressed might wish. This was the light into which Mr. Betterton threw the scene, which he opened with a pause of mute amazement. Then, rising slowly, in a solemn, trembling voice, angels and ministers of grace, defend us. He made the ghost equally terrible to the spectator as to himself. In brief, he preserved the medium between mouthing too much and meaning too little. Is there a finer way to keep the attention? And is there more difficult a master stroke for an actor to achieve? In this, none have equalled Betterton, nor ever will.
Now, he was still playing that role of Hamlet at the age of 74, wasn't he?
He was, yes, 74, old and gouty by then. He had to wear slippers. Horatio and Marcellus stayed close by to stop him from falling over. He died, I'm sorry to say, days after that. The gout went to his head. We will not see his like again. They are all dead now, the old actors, all dead. You cannot imagine what they were. Breath into the wind, breath into the wind. A man might write an entire book about Betterton, and we would not have the slightest idea of his true excellence. No, not the faintest idea.
Oh, well, that's interesting because actually, I've written a book about him.
You? Written a book about Mr. Betterton?
Yeah.
Oh, when?
About 10, 15 years ago.
How extraordinary.
Is actually, I brought a copy.
Let me see.
Yeah.
It is a handsome book. For sure. Well, yeah, well said, sir.
Well.
But here, no. No.
What?
No, he does not do that. No, this is false. And no, he never did. Another well-known myth. No, quite wrong. Dear.
Look, perhaps we can discuss that afterwards, Mr. Cibber. Can we?
Have I discomposed you,
sir? No, not really.
My most humble
fine.
apologies. I would not discompose a fellow for the sake of a few trifling errors, or even some not so trifling.
Yeah.
But I fear I am embarrassing.
Not at all. No. It's just,
Then allow me to release you from your discomfort by telling you more of the power of elocution. As there are great composers of music who sing like crows, so there are poets who read like parrots. I give you as an example that great master of verse and harmony, Mr. John Dryden. It was a fashion then for poets to read their play first to the actors. When Mr. Dryden brought his play Amphitryon to the theatre, soon after I joined the company, I heard him give the first reading. I had never heard anything so cold, so flat, so unaffecting. There has been a devilish quarrel, I can tell you, between Jupiter and Juno. She threatened to sue him in the spiritual court for some matrimonial omission, etc.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
By contrast, Mr. Nathaniel Lee, an inferior poet by far, was so sweet a reader of his own scenes that he entirely discouraged his actors. Once, when Lee was reading his play, Mr. Moon, a hot-headed fellow at the best of times, threw down his part and said, positively shouting in fact, "Unless I were able to act it as well as you read it, why should I undertake it?" It's a good story, is it not? Have you recovered now?
Yeah. I'm getting there. Yeah.
Splendid. I'm so pleased.
Yeah. Of course, you also played with many great actresses. They were quite novelty then, weren't they?
Upon my first entrance to the stage, those heavenly creatures were no longer a novelty.
Yeah, well, a relative novelty then.
If the passage of 30 years makes a relative novelty, then yes. You will know that women were not admitted to the stage till the return of King Charles, who lost no time in admitting them to his bedchamber also.
Yeah. But men still played women's roles sometimes.
Not in the king's bedchamber, what?
Yeah. Oh.
Forgive me, my wit runs away with me. Yes, indeed, there was still a necessity for some time to put the handsomest young men into petticoats. Mr. Kynaston was said to have worn them with unusual success.
Oh, yes, Edward Kynaston.
Unusual success, which calls to mind a ridiculous incident. His Majesty arrived early at the theatre one afternoon. The actors, naturally, were not ready to begin. The king became angry at their want of respect for his presence. He demanded to know the reason for it. The master of the company was summoned. He bowed before the king's box and apologised as profusely as any king could wish. "Our queen," the master explained with all the solemnity of a bishop, "is not yet shaved."
And what did the king say?
The king loved to laugh at a jest as well as to make one. He radiated forgiveness and was duly diverted until the man-queen could be, how shall I put it, effeminated.
Now, I read that when Kynaston dressed as a woman, he was the most beautiful woman in the house, and that when he dressed as a man, he was the handsomest man.
Stab my vitals, yes. He was so beautiful a youth that the ladies of quality prided themselves in taking him for a coach ride. Sometimes as a woman, sometimes as a man, but always with the curtains drawn.
Did he resent the arrival of all of those actresses, Nell Gwynn, Moll Davis and the others?
Not in the least. He was as much a woman as any one of them, and more of a man. To the last, his looks were very little abated. Even at past 60, his teeth were all sound, white as one could wish to see in a beauty of 20. He had something of a formal gravity in his bearing, which he attributed to the stately step he had learned in his female decency, if I may, like this. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, well, I think we can all see that, yes.
But he stayed too long upon the stage, till his memory and spirit began to fail. It comes to us all.
So let's move on to your writing. Your first play, what prompted you?
My want of progress as an actor. I was assigned not one role that gave me the least inclination to act it, so I performed as negligently as I pleased. I'm not too proud to admit it.
So you decided to write a role for yourself?
Yes, the comedian turned poet. Love's Last Shift, it was called. It was not easy to get it to the stage. No more was expected of me as an author than as an actor. However, the celebrated poet Mr. Thomas Southern had the patience to have me read it to him, and he liked it so well that he recommended it to the managers. I gave myself the part of Sir Novelty Fashion, as a portrait of the foppery then abounding in the world.
And did you really wear something like this?
Ah, yes, a vast wig, surging down my shoulders like an ocean wave. Glorious, is it not? For this character, I further devised a particular manner of speaking then in fashion. Every O was to be an A, and Sir Novelty was to be enthralled to a favourite phrase among the fops. "Stop me vitals," he exclaimed at every opportunity. "Sir, you have such a torrent of philosophy running through your pericranium that, step me vitals, it has washed your brain away. Madam, I will draw all the town to witness my triumph. Step me vitals. I was a... No. I detest a strumpet. Step me vitals. A happy visit. Yeah, anyway, on the very first day of acting, Mr. Southern took my hand and said, "Young man, I pronounce thy play a good one. I will answer for its success if you do not spoil it with your acting."
But you didn't
Did not what?
spoil it with your acting.
Sir, I did not. The Lord Chamberlain himself, my Lord Dorset, said it was the best first play that any author in his memory had produced, and that for a young fellow to show himself such an actor and such a writer in one day was something extraordinary.
And it was then that the rumours began.
You may call them rumours, I call them compliments. Higher compliments, to speak truth. It was put about that the play was so good that it could not possibly be my own, that it was merely a mess of body parts thieved from the graves of dead poets.
That it was plagiarised, yeah?
Well, all I can say to that is this, that when Sir Critic has identified the body parts in question and traced them to their original owners, I will acknowledge the theft. Sir Critic, until then, had better keep mum. Can anyone here enlighten us on the question? No? Well, no. Well, stab me vitals, I rest my case.
So Sir Novelty was your breakthrough role then?
What do you mean?
Your first success?
I follow you. Your way of speaking is somewhat odd, don't you find? Don't you agree? Don't you agree, madam? Yes. Very, very odd. I have an ear for these things. I've often been told so. Your manner of dressing also. Very odd indeed. However, yes, to Sir Novelty it was that I owed my early fame. Sir John Vanbrugh soon did me the honour of ennobling the character in his play of The Relapse. From Sir Novelty I was elevated to Lord Foppington, as complete a parcel of foppery as any that had adorned the stage. Some say I have never stopped playing him. Well, stab me vitals, they may be right.
And by then, you were married, I think.
I used to wonder if there was any indiscretion greater than defying one's parents to become an actor. Then I discovered there was. I married. I had a mere £20 a year from my father and 20 shillings a week from my acting. My precious Catherine had nothing from her father.
Nothing?
I was, he said, his disgrace. But we were the happiest young couple that ever took a leap into the dark. It was then I knew that I had to turn playwright, folly upon folly. There was, in this instance, an excuse, necessity. Had I never come on the stage, I would never have written for it. But having become an actor, I thought it could be no additional dishonour to let my wits take their fortune on the stage as well as my person.
And children?
My muse and my spouse proved equally prolific. The one was seldom the mother of a child, but in the same year, the other made me the father of a play. I think we had a dozen of each sort between us. Among both plays and children, some died in their infancy, and near an equal number of each were alive when I quitted the theatre. It is no wonder then, perhaps, when my muse is only called upon by family duty, she should not always be permitted to rejoice in the fruits of her labour.
Well, that sounds a little uncaring.
I merely observe that necessity, contrary to the proverb, is not always the mother of invention.
So, as well as fops, you also specialised in villains.
Fortune is fickle. When an actor achieves fame as a fop, it is hard to credit him as a villain. And when he is a villain, it is taken by the audience as a mark of being actually villainous in a man. I've played in tragedy. My Iago, my Wolsey, my Richard III were well reputed by most. The merit was dearly purchased. For the delight I took in performing them, half my audience concluded I must have my own vast store of mischief, deceit, pride, insolence, and cruelty.
They are the best roles, though, no?
I do so agree. They are the roles better written, thicker sewn, that come nearest to common life. I have known dainty actors who are too squeamish to attempt them, as though they are one jot the better man for acting good men in a play. Preposterous.
You are remembered now, particularly for your Richard III.
Am I? Oh, wonderful.
But not always because of what Shakespeare wrote.
I honour Shakespeare as no other poet. He drank from the fountain, the very spring of nature. His genius was unique, a lion among authors, but a lion who might gain from a little improvement. I will give you as an example. Now is the winter of our discontent. How unseemly to begin a play with a man talking to himself, telling us in a long-winded way of what he has been. No, it must not be. His now is an affront. To be now is to see. So I considered Shakespeare at fault. It is not enough to be told as a story in the theatre. We must see it for ourselves. Therefore, I wrote for Richard III a new first act, in which the villainous hero stabs King Henry to gain the throne. For this, amongst the rest, I was ordained.
And then the line when he orders the death of Buckingham.
Off with his head. So much for Buckingham. Yes, stab me vitals. But actors will be repeating that line long into the future.
Oh, well, they will indeed. They have.
How wonderful. Stab me vitals.
Yeah. But not everyone enjoyed the performance, did they?
Sir Critic is never far away.
Well, perhaps our audience might like to hear some of the things Sir Critic said.
They may, perhaps, or they may not. You, sir, do you wish to hear it?
Yeah, I think that was a yes, wasn't it? I think that was a yes. Yeah. So let's see. Here it goes then. Yeah. This same mender of Shakespeare chose the principal part, viz. The king, for himself, and accordingly, being invested with the purple robe, he screamed his way through 4 acts without dignity or decency. The audience, ill-pleased with the farce, accompanied him with a smile of contempt. But in the 5th act, he degenerated all at once into Sir Novelty fashion. And then, when in the heat of battle at Bosworth Field the king is dismounted, our comic tragedian came on the stage, really breathless in a seeming panic, screaming out this line thus: "A hearse, my kingdom for a hearse!"
Very amusing, I'm sure.
Here's another one. When he was killed by Richmond, one might plainly perceive that the good people were not better pleased that so execrable a tyrant was destroyed than that so execrable an actor was silent.
Sneer if you like. As for me, I laughed.
Well.
I laughed and laughed as I contemplated my takings, which were considerable. Considerable.
Okay, well. And then it was not long before you were drawn into management.
May I advance a principle here?
Be my guest.
I beg your pardon?
Go ahead.
Go?
Advance your principle.
Very well. Really, you must mend your manner of speaking. In acting and writing, one learns from observing the best. To watch Mr. Betterton in his pomp, to read Shakespeare in the flame of his genius, is to bear a torch that lights one's way ahead. In management, however, one learns most from observing the worst, and the worst are plentiful indeed.
I think we can all agree on that. Yeah.
The master of our company was a Mr. Christopher Rich, a snarling Somersetshire lawyer. He had as little conception of theatrical merit as any man. His judgment was governed by a single rule for the value of a play. He looked for his receipts. For the value of an actor, he listened to common rumour. In former times, the managers paid the actors' salaries first and took what was left for themselves. This Mr. Rich creamed his takings first and left the actors to deal with the shortfall.
Not unusual these days.
When the money comes in, he would say in his Somersetshire growl, "You will be paid." But by some impenetrable wizardry, his own accounts were wont to show that the money had not yet come in.
Well, that must have been very difficult.
He grievously upset the senior actors. Mr. Betterton, in particular, resented it. So when Mr. Rich gave his roles to younger actors, yes, he even denied Mr. Betterton his annual new wig.
Dear me.
Yes, that was an affront that could not be borne. So Mr. Betterton and some of his friends took flight and set up a new company elsewhere.
Leaving you behind.
Yeah, quite.
So who else was left then?
Well, there was Powell, a drunkard who could not study his lines. There is now one such in every theatrical company, I am told. Then Wilkes, a brash fellow who would not stoop to supporting roles. I repeat my previous comment. And then your humble servant, Mr. Colley Cibber, who would sooner refuse a bottle than drink it, who would study his lines in earnest, who would as gladly play Justice Shallow as King Henry IV, who Mr. Rich believed might be some manner of cushion between himself and the troupe of actors.
That sounds like chaos.
Oh, we invented a new form of acting, the unnatural school. Shakespeare we defaced, then tortured. Hamlet and Othello were continually mad. Brutus and Cassius became noisy blusterers, bulging of eye and turgid of speech. We were rarely paid, but often palmed off with a flask of wine in Mr. Rich's favourite tavern.
But he was something of an innovator too, wasn't he?
Well, his taste for exotic entertainments knew no bounds. Dancers imported from France, acrobats swinging like monkeys from rope, jugglers and harlequins to shake the bellies of footmen with raucous laughter. Then there was the elephant.
The elephant.
He once commissioned an elephant to appear on our stage. The notion was abandoned when he found it would be necessary first to remove the side wall of the theatre. But I learned one thing from this Mr. Rich. A theatre will flourish when it is placed into the hands of perhaps 2 or 3 capable actors. If it is in the hands of money men, it will starve. The best actors know what will live long on the stage and what will die in an afternoon. It is the best in any business who command the respect of their fellows and do not cheat them. Do you agree?
Certainly do.
The same principle is true of your business?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. Very good. What is your business, by the by?
Oh, well, I teach. I'm a university professor.
Oh, Oxford or Cambridge?
Neither. Birmingham City.
What is that?
It's a university in Birmingham.
Birmingham is but a village, is it not?
Not anymore.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sure my principle stands.
Sorry? What?
That when a manager knows nothing but management, he does not truly know his own business.
Well, amen to that, yes. Now, it would have been about this time, wouldn't it, that opera began to appear along with the French dancers and elephants.
Ugh, a yet greater abomination, the Italian opera. It is not a plant of native growth. It is too rich for most English stomachs, and it is of so delicate a nature that it cannot live without excessive expense. It is, in short, a detestable absurdity. And as for the singers, well, here is another principle for you. There is in this species of an Italian opera singer such an innate fantastical pride and caprice that it is impossible to govern them. It is a disease with them. There is more enchantment in the well-governed voice of an actor than in the sweet pipe of one of those eunuchs.
Yes. So, yes, eunuchs. Eventually you left Rich and moved on.
Yes, with my friend Mr. Wilkes. We became installed co-managers at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. You have heard of it, I suppose?
Oh, yeah.
And why would you not? You are a professor, after all. Professor, Birmingham City.
Yes.
Birmingham. There is a certain depression in the very sound of the word, is there not?
Well, you were about to tell us about Wilkes and Drury Lane.
Yes, yes. At first, Wilkes and I were joined by Mr. Doggett, a querulous fellow who took himself off to Norwich, and then by Mr. Barton Booth.
And there were lots of stories about Wilkes, of course.
Oh, that he was the father of a child by one of our actresses. That he had left a second wife behind in Dublin. I have formed my own view.
And he also had quite a temper, didn't he?
His industry was no less formidable than his memory, and his temper was the equal of both. Yet our parcel of fools got along pretty well. We acted nobly in tragedy, humorously in comedy, and declined to venture upon rope dancers, harlequins, elephants, or that new species of entertainment, the dramatic satire. What is a satire but a grim diagnosis without a prescription? We wanted none of it.
Now, is it true that you turned down The Beggar's Opera, such a landmark play?
Yes, I declined it. The author, Mr. Gay, took it instead to the son of the late Mr. Rich. For myself, I saw no value in painting our politicians as thieves and highwaymen. Don't you agree?
On this occasion, no, I don't.
Oh, no. Really? I did not regret declining the play, though. It drew all our audience away for half a season. As the wits put it, it made gay rich and the rich gay. Or was it the reverse? The rich gay and gay rich. Step me vitals.
So why didn't you regret it?
What we lost in profit from declining gay, I gained in preferment. Upon the death of Mr. Lawrence Eusden, the office of Poet Laureate fell vacant. Among 4 candidates, I emerged triumphant. Wow. Imagine, I had never penned a poem in my life.
And of course, some people were rather rude about your appointment.
They could say what they liked. Mine was the appointment, not theirs.
Yeah, I've got a sample of some of their criticism here. Do you mind if I read it?
There is nothing new under the sun. I've heard it all.
Well, all right then. The learned Cibber is appointed Poet Laureate. He's now learning to spell. Not the greatest joke, perhaps.
Hardly.
So what were your duties?
I applied myself to the task of writing birthday odes to His Majesty King George II.
Oh, could we hear one of them?
Now?
Well, why not?
They are worthless. I told you. I had never penned a poem. But if you must...
Oh, God. Yeah.
I doubt you will be thanking me afterwards.
I am sure I will.
Very well, then. Let there be light. Such was at once the word and work of heaven, when the void of universal night, free nature sprung to the Creator's sight, and day to glad the new-born world was given. Succeeding days to ages rolled, and every age some wonder told. At length arose this glorious morn, when, to extend his bounteous power, high heaven announced this instant hour, the best of monarchs shall be born.
Yes, well, that was lovely.
The word that formed the world in vain did make mankind, unless his passions to restrain almighty wisdom had designed, sometimes a William or a George should reign. Yet farther, Britons, cast your eyes. Behold, a long succession rise of future fair felicities. Around the royal table spread, see how the beauteous branches shine, sprung from the fertile, genial bed of glorious George and Caroline. While heaven with bounteous hand has so enriched her store, when shall this promised land in royal airs be poor? All we can further ask, or heaven bestow, is that we long this happiness may know. I thank you.
Oh, yes. I'm speechless.
I did say you would not thank me.
No, thank you.
It served its purpose. I make no other claim for it. A snarking critical pamphlet brings in a mere twopence halfpenny. My odes bring me abundance of good wine and court favour.
As I'm sure you'll appreciate, they weren't appreciated by other poets.
You refer to Mr. Pope, I believe.
Alexander Pope, yes.
Popish of religion and dwarfish of body. A man of unique poetical gifts and matchless vituperation, yes. A very wasp among poets. I am grateful to him, in a manner of speaking.
Grateful?
Yes. He paid me so much attention. My fame rose thanks to his efforts. The king of dullness, he called me. Dullness, whose good old cause I still defend, with whom my muse began, with whom shall end. A marvellous ear had he not. Such elegance of rhythm, such felicity of diction.
You took revenge on him, I hear.
Oh, revenge is an unpleasant word. No, not revenge. A little correction, perhaps.
Tell us what happened.
It came to my ears that he had visited a house of ill fame. There he asked for the services of Madame Richards, as capacious a lady as you will find in any establishment in London. She lay on her back, and dwarfish Mr. Pope began his ascent. When he reached the Mons Veneris and roused his manhood for the evening's business, the lady cried out, "Lord, sir, I never knew a man keep a worm in his breeches." I had an engraving made to commemorate the event. The Poetical Tom Tit, it is called.
Is this the one? We've got one here. Yeah.
The very same. Many hundreds of copies were made. It sold rather well, very well. Poor Mr. Pope.
And then when that was all over, you decided to retire.
Otium cum dignitate, leisure with honour. It is the desire of every gentleman.
But you decided to write about your life, your career. Why?
I often said that one time or other I should give the public some memoirs of my own life, and the time came when I thought I had better show that I was in earnest. Now the book is written, the world will find me a weaker man than even my enemies supposed. I rejoice at it.
Why rejoice?
Now my enemies will hear me with pleasure. My friends, meanwhile, will find that to be foolish is to be happy. Now, you may be wondering why I should make my follies public.
Why make your follies public?
Yes. Well, why not? I have passed my time very pleasantly with them, and I don't recollect they have ever been hurtful to anyone. It would be vanity to pretend I am a wise man. Is anyone more unhappy than he who is always labouring to be thought wise?
Well.
Professor?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know what my enemies will say, that this Cibber is a doting trifler, an old fool, a conceited coxcomb, that his writing is unequal, pert and frothy, patched and part-coloured, like the coat of a harlequin, low and pompous, crammed with epithets, stewed with scraps of second-hand Latin from common quotations, aiming at, without ever hitting the mark, a mere ragout, tossed from the offals of other authors. Nay, that is Cibber's subject. Himself is unworthy of all pens but his own, flatly daubed by one eternal egotism. Indeed, that this Cibber is really as accomplished a fool as there ever he attempted to play on the stage. There. I have said your worst. Guilty as charged.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be so sure, because you see, plenty of people think now that your book, your apology, is rather special. It's unique, in fact. No actor had written about himself in that way before.
True.
It's even been described, you know, as a work of something like genius.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I'm quite overcome. Who said that?
It was another professor like me.
Oh, I see. In Birmingham.
No, in Pennsylvania.
But now you're toying with me, a professor in Pennsylvania.
Well, not at all. In fact, your book, your apology, is so important that it's always been in print in one edition or another.
Now that is most gratifying. Thank you.
And this is the latest edition, just out.
My. But this is a very handsome volume.
Well.
Look, that coloured bust. It is but a poor likeness. And here, yes, here is Wilkes, yeah, Mrs. Oldfield. My father's statues, even my old school. How delightful. But what is this? What is this? Crowding out every page in a thicket of print. This?
Well, they're the notes, the footnotes, yeah.
Footnotes?
They explain what you wrote.
What I wrote is perfectly clear, sir.
Yeah, well, no, it's not always. Fielding said you'd murdered the English language, and you make mistakes.
I did not.
Dates, misquotations, events in the wrong order, 55 factual errors. I've counted them.
You poor man.
Yeah, well, it's my job.
So who is to blame for this marauding army of notes?
That would be me.
You?
Yeah. The notes, the introduction, the index, everything.
It is the length of another book.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I wrote mine in 18 months. How long did you take on yours?
3 years.
Ha! 3 years! And how much money have you made from it,
Nothing yet.
Nothing! Then why in heaven's name did you do it?
You know, I'm starting to wonder.
Mine made me rich.
Not as much as people said, though.
Prove it.
Introduction, page 37.
Interesting. Ingenious. Well, sir, you found me out.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. We professors, we find people out.
But what's this? Dear me, no.
Oh,
No.
Here we go again.
It wasn't like that at all. That did not happen.
No.
Another old myth.
No, not having this. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Ludicrous.
It looks like we're out of time. So, look, credits. Can you run the credits? So thank you so much, everyone,
Absurd.
for coming. But above all, if you could thank this evening's wonderful guest, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Colley Cibber.
Oh.
Thank you. I mean...
This is not worth tuppence halfpenny.
Look,
It's a pack of lies.
The epilogue. In Colley's day, when it was time to go, an actor would step forth and try to show through tripping rhyme and sparkling simile and winks and nudges how extraordinarily keen he was for some thundering applause to end such delights as have been yours. But today, our epilogue serves a different cause. At first, we thank our jovial crew of students whose technical proficiency and super-duper prudence have catapulted Colley from the Drury Lane stage and dropped him in the middle of the television age. For our furniture and costumes, we owe a lasting debt to friends from the Conservatoire. And had we never met our wonderful producer, the award-winning Meera, our show would have been, well, merely a chimera. As for Colley himself, in case you didn't know it, he's been brought to life today by a far superior poet. Now, today, you've heard mere fragments of old Cibber, the truths he told, the times he was a fibber. To you, I leave the task of joining all the pieces so that your wish to know him more increases. Then let me finish with this puff or commendation to spark your thoughts and boost your education. I hope that now you've had a taste of Colley's life and work, you'll make all haste to CUP or Amazon, where you'll find this splendid tome, just longing like a stray for house and home. And once you've sampled this extraordinary apology, with all its charming arcane terminology and its wandering amid theatrical mythology, not forgetting its quite bold epistemology, you'll likely come to feel that it's got psychology and sociology and lots of anthropology and even gerontology and erotology. So now depart, each in your own way, to spend an evening's chat upon our play. Some over pizza, for others it's Chinese. Whatever your taste, our aim has been to please. But that's enough of culinary suggestions. It's time to wonder if you have any questions. Professor Gregory Ledbetter.